Now, what is your biohacking review then? What have you been sort of doing or trying recently that you thought might be helpful to talk about?
Yeah, so today I've been mostly thinking about creatine. I was like made a video about it, recorded it today, and I've been recently, over the past few days, I've been taking some creatine as well. And everyone knows it can help with muscle and muscle strength, but it also has a lot of benefits for the brain and cognition and memory.
Mm.
And the reason I've been taking it is because it has been shown to also counteract sleep loss and sleep deprivation. So I'm going to travel to India next week. So I'm going to experience some jet lag and sleep disturbance. And they found in a lot of studies that creatine loading before a type of sleep deprivation mitigates some of the sleep loss. And because your brain uses a lot of creatine, and higher creatine levels can reduce sleep demand, so you can get away with less sleep essentially. And there's a lot of studies as well on like athletes where they experience sleep deprivation and they take like even like 20 grams of creatine, and that maintains their physical performance and coordination, so they're still able to perform at a higher level. So I've just noticed that over the past 2 days or something where I've been taking creatine, the I guess yeah, I'm just noticing that I'm waking up much refreshed and with less like sleep demand.
Very interesting. Well, I mean, I remember back in the day, probably 20 years ago, taking creatine to try and help my guns get bigger because
Mm.
you were talking about muscle mass earlier on, and I mean, I work so hard in the gym, but it is hard. Some of us ectomorphs struggle to put on weight,
Mm.
and I realize that's a complaint that's really annoying for people who struggle to lose weight. But when I took creatine, I found that I got quite dehydrated.
Mm.
Is that a thing?
Um, it might be that you're just storing more water in the muscles. So creatine
Mm.
has that water retention effect, but it retains the water in the muscles. And yeah, like it actually may help with fat loss as well. But the key here is that creatine usually works only if you combine it with resistance training. So it doesn't improve bone density if you don't do resistance training, and it like marginally increases maybe muscle size if you don't do resistance training. So the best way to get the effects from creatine is to do some form of resistance training while you're at it. And yeah, drinking more water might enhance some of the water retention effects as well, so that you're, because yeah, it makes you look more full and bigger because the creatine makes you hold the water in the muscles.
Mm. And then you've been feeling more alert when you wake up in the morning. And I guess the real test is going to be when you get to India and
Right.
the time that you spend there.
Yeah, for sure. I think I'm gonna do some other hacks as well. So I'm gonna try to sleep mostly on the plane to make the time go faster. But
Mm.
yeah, we'll see. Like I also will probably use like some melatonin and use blue blocking glasses, and yet try to, because the time zone difference between Estonia and India isn't that large. So it's like 4 hours, 4.5 hours. So yeah, I'm gonna go to bed around the same time actually when I arrive in India. So
Yeah,
it's not gonna change my sleep rhythm that much.
very good.